Hi, thanks for watching my channel, for tuning into this video. I appreciate it. I wanted to kind of share a PIF, or pay it forward, that I won on Badger and Blade about a week or two ago. There was a gentleman whose username is Ronaldo, and he posted a PIF and had a few things that he was putting up for the PIF, and he said, just type I'm in, and you can enter into the contest and hopefully win the PIF. And I entered and won, and I thought that I would do a video using all of the things that I got in the PIF in order to shave. Those of you that don't know, Badger and Blade is one of 4 traditional wet shaving forums that I go to frequently. And if you don't know what traditional wet shaving is, I have a video, what is wet shaving and why should I care. I'd encourage you to watch that and learn more about it. It's a great way to shave. It's much better than what you're doing now. If you're using things like cart and disposable razors and canned shaving cream and stuff like that, that technically is wet shaving, but it really isn't. It's not very pleasant and not very enjoyable. Traditional wet shaving is much more fun, and it's much more comfortable, and it's much more much better for your face and your skin and stuff like that. Now, if you notice, there's thunder and rain. You may be able to hear it. I don't know if you can or not, but I got rain hitting my roof, and it's thundering and lightning and stuff like that. So there's a storm going on, so that's what you're hearing if you hear that. But anyway, let's go on to the PIF, the pay it forward. The first thing I got was a razor and a stand. Just a double edge safety razor and a little stand. Stand's pretty cool. It's heavy and holds the razor great. But this is a cheap Chinese double edge razor. The metal is very thin. It's one of the twist to open types. The mechanism doesn't move very smoothly or anything like that. I don't know if you can see the writing on it, or the Chinese characters on it, but it's a cheap Chinese razor. Now, it was advertised as a cheap Chinese razor. This is not something that he just threw in there, and I didn't know it was coming. I knew what this was from the start. It is what it is, but even these, from what I understand, they can give you a pretty decent shave. So we're going to shave with that today. And I'm kind of going to give you my impression of all of the stuff that I use, and we'll just take it from there. So, Ronaldo, thank you for the razor. And the next thing that I got some Dove Plus Men Care Face Balm, or aftershave balm, post-shave balm, I think is what they call it, yeah. Also, I got this is what I entered the PIF for. It's the Everman Jack Shave Cream. Now, this is a product that's available locally in a lot of places. Walmart and Target carry it in a lot of places. And they used to carry it where I live. When I first got into traditional wet shaving, I was shaving for a week or two, and I didn't know anything about forums or anything like that. I was just going by what I knew before. As a matter of fact, at one point for about a week, I shaved with can foam before I found soaps. So I didn't really know that there was a cream that you could use. I always thought it was just a mug soap and a brush and a razor and all. So I came across this in Target, I believe. It may have been Walmart, but I'm almost positive it was Target. But I came across it in Target, and I thought, well, I'm not sure what that is. I'll come back next week maybe, or whenever it is I'm back in the store, and I'll give it a shot and see how I like it. And so I was in a hurry that day anyway, so I just went on and I went home, and in between that time and the next time I showed up at the store, I discovered the wet shaving forums and realized that there were a lot of guys that were using this. And so I thought, well, I'll go back to Target and I'll get me a tube of it and, try it out, see if I like it. Well, showed up at Target and there wasn't anything that said anything about Everyman Jack on the shelf anywhere. They'd taken all that product off. I guess they discontinued it or whatever, and I couldn't find it. Still can't find it locally anymore. So I thought, well, I won't ever get to try that cream now. It wasn't that big of a deal, but I would have liked to have tried it. And then I saw the PIF from Ronaldo. It had this cream on it, and I thought, well, I'll enter the PIF, and if I win, then I'll get a chance to try this cream out. So this was the purpose and the reason that I entered the PIF to start with. However, things have changed. That being that he also included what I would call mystery gifts. A couple of different mystery gifts. There were stuff that he put in the PIF that he did not state were in there, but he said there'll be a couple of mystery gifts. One of them is a tallow soap, and it looks to me like it's handmade. It's got a pretty nice rose scent to it. They didn't come in these bowls. I bought these. They're Anchor Hocking bowls, 1 cup bowls, and they hold soap pucks really well. And they have a plastic lid that go on them, seal them up, and they stack real well. So I use those for soaps. But anyway, I got this, which I will eventually try. But what I'm more excited about is this right here. I'm going to call this Vander Club Conch soap. What it is he said he took Vanderhagen glycerin soap and Colonel Conch's lime soap, melted both of those down, and poured in a generous helping of Clubman Bay Rum Splash. So, and made 2 pucks. He gave me 2 pucks. He gave me this one and another one. And you can smell the Bay Rum, and it smells like rum. I can get a big, huge hit of alcohol when I smell it. It smells delicious. He said it smells to him like nutmeg. Well, I don't know. Maybe it smells like rum to me, but once I get it on my face, lathered up and on my face, it might smell more like nutmeg, or not nutmeg, eggnog. Eggnog is what he said it smelled like, not nutmeg. Nutmeg goes in eggnog, but anyway, eggnog. So I'm really excited to shave with this more than I am a store-bought tube. Now, you can say what you want. The Vanderhagen, the Clubman, and the Colonel Conch's, they're store-bought, they're factory-made stuff, but he actually took the time to melt this down, mix it together, add the Bay Rum Splash, and form it back into a pretty nice looking puck. And I got 2 of these pucks, like I said. So if this smells like eggnog, then I'm going to save the other puck for Christmas, because that would be a really cool Christmas shave if it smells a lot like eggnog on my face. So anyway, I don't drink or anything like that, so I don't, I'm not particularly excited because it has the smell of rum because of alcohol, but I like that smell. So I'm going to give this soap a whirl. Now, one of the other things that he gave me was this. It's a pure badger brush from Simply Beautiful. That's the name of the company that made this brush. Now, it's a very soft brush. To me, it doesn't have a whole lot of backbone. For comparison, this is my Vanderhagen Boar brush that I've been using the whole time. So you can see the difference. This is a bit smaller brush. We're going to see how all of it works out. I have not used this brush, and I have not used this soap before. So I may end up having a difficult time making a lather here. I don't know, but I'm going to give it a shot. And we're going to shave. Now, one of the other things that he gave me,
a vast virus database has been updated.
There's my computer telling me my virus database was updated. Wasn't expecting that in the video, but there you go. Anyway, he gave me 2 5-packs of the Derby blades and a 5-pack of, here, let me get it where you can see it, of Astra blades. Now, since I've got 10 of the Derby blades, as opposed to 5 of the Astras, and since also most of the reviews of the Chinese razors that I've seen state that they're pretty mild, and since most of the reviews of Derbys that I've seen state that they're pretty mild, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a fairly mild razor blade and pair it with what should be a fairly mild razor and see what the shave looks like. I like mild. A lot of guys like really aggressive razors. I shave with a straight, which can be fairly aggressive if you want it to be. It's more aggressive than one of these. But I've found that in shaving, it's all in your hand. It's how you control the blade that determines, to a great extent, outside of the different characteristics that come with different types of razors. To a great extent, you can control how aggressive or how non-aggressive, for a better word, or mild, your shave is by the way that you shave. So, but I like mild razors because, usually we do a 3-pass shave anyway. A really aggressive razor, by the time I get a 3rd pass done, my face is liable to be, raw like hamburger meat. With a mild razor, I can slowly take off the hair and get a really nice smooth shave, fairly irritation free, that kind of deal. That's my take on it. Everybody's got their own idea of how things work, but at any rate, let's start the shave. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to open these blades and I'm going to load up a blade first. But what I did is I've already done some prep. I've washed my face with Irish Spring, and I've used hot towels on my face to moisten my beard and all of that. And I'm going to take this Derby blade, and I'm going to put it in this razor. So the twist to open mechanism is kind of rough and gritty, but what do you expect for, I think he said he paid $10 for the razor new. That doesn't affect how it shaves. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to look for how much the blade extends, and I can already tell you, if you look at it, it looks pretty even. You can see that it's nice and straight where the blade sticks out. But I think this side right here, the blade sticks out just a little bit further on this side than on this side. From my eye, that's what it looks like. So this side might be a bit more aggressive. I'll know more as I begin to shave. Now, a lot of guys soak their pucks of soap, and they soak their brush and all that. What I do is I run water. Now, I don't fill my sink up with water. I don't leave my water running. I'm on a well, and I'm not on city water, and I can pretty much do as I please. But to me, the less water I waste, the better off I feel. So what I do is I fill the bowl up with warm water and just set it to the side long enough to take my brush and run it under the water till I get it good and soaked. Just a few seconds. It doesn't take much. And then I shake some of the water out, just a couple of shakes. I take my bowl and I pour the water out. And that should be enough. And then I begin. Now, a lot of guys, they go, well, my puck is spinning around in there and all this jazz. It doesn't bother me if my puck spins around. I don't have a bit of trouble making lather with that puck spinning around. The brush will make plenty of lather. Then what I do, I'll take that foamy kind of lather that I got and just scoop it out of the brush, out of the bowl rather, and I'm adding it to a separate bowl that I have that I use to lather with. And I just get all that creamy goodness that I can get. There's what I got. And then I just take the brush and I start whipping that lather. And as you do that, then I'll take and push it down and start some more. As you do that, what I do is I just dribble a little bit of water from my hand into the brush. But as you begin to whip that cream, that lather, that foamy lather, it begins to turn, if you see, into a thick cream. It goes from foamy, watery, bubbly kind of lather to this thick, creamy goodness going on here. And I like the consistency of the cream that I'm getting from this lather, from this soap. I don't know if it's the brush or if it's the soap itself or what's going on, but it's really nice, creamy kind of lather. Now, that's enough lather right there to do 3 passes, 4 or 5 passes. So that's done. Let's lather up. A little bit scritchy. That's a lot more scritchy than my Vanderhagen bore. That's a lot more scritchy than my bore was when it was first new. Now, when I do the cross passes like this, the brush passes like you're painting, it's absolutely beautifully smooth. But when I do this, you can feel the prickliness of the Badger. And what I understand is Badger starts out like that, and when it's wet, it's not as soft, and as you continue to shave with it, it gets better. So that wasn't bad. It's not in any way uncomfortable or anything like that. So it worked just fine for me. Excuse me a minute. It whipped up a nice thick lather with no problems. Let me get my razor out. And now, like I said, I stretch my skin, whether I'm using a double edge or a straight razor. So let's go. That blade, this is a much more aggressive razor than I thought. Much more aggressive, no pressure. Remember, when you shave with one of these, you want to use as little pressure as possible. But this is a much more aggressive razor than the Lady Gillette double edge that I normally use. No. I'm glad that I chose a derby blade and didn't pop a feather in here. Much more aggressive. Don't like that other. I'm shaving with the other side now. That is a little bit more protrusion of the blade, and I do not like it. The blade seems to be flexing in the razor. And I'm going in very short strokes here on my chin because I'm afraid actually to do any more than that. I can tell you right now, at least in this razor, the derby blade is not a good combination for this razor. Now I got about a day and a half to 2 days. The reason I say a day and a half to 2 days is because usually I shave at night, and this is 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So this blade, this razor, is much more aggressive than I would have thought at first. Much more aggressive. Okay, they went to width to grain pass. Not bad. It's not a bad. I mean, you could shave with this every day if you had to. It wouldn't be a problem. You just have to learn learn how to use the razor, just like with anything else. You'd have to adapt the way that you shave to the aggressiveness of the razor, but I can tell you that this razor is much more aggressive than what I would prefer. My Lady Gillette, which is what I use. And you guys can snigger and giggle if you want to. That doesn't bother me at all. But I use a 68 Gillette, Lady Gillette every day, pretty much. It's a wonderfully mild razor. And of course it's built a lot better than that razor there. So that might account for it too. But it's much milder than this razor here. But it's not that I don't like this razor. It's fine for what it is. And if you were to start traditional wet shaving, and that's all the razor that you had, then it wouldn't be a problem at all. You could shave with it for as long as the razor lasted. I don't know how long it would last, but to be perfectly honest with you, nobody knows how long a razor is going to last until they use it till it breaks down. You know, you can kind of get an idea of the track record depending on how others have done, but everybody treats their razor different. They take care of it differently, all kind of stuff, and it's just a best guess regardless. This razors don't really get abused a whole lot most of the time. If you use them right, you're just shaving your face. This could conceivably last 20 years. So, you know, but anyway, let's do the cross grain pass and see how we do. I'm going to pull that up above my chin so that I can get at that skin under my jawline there. That's pretty smooth. I mean, that's a pretty smooth pass right there. So, I can tell you that first pass that I made with this razor, the with the grain pass, I was very, very, very careful in how aggressively I went after my skin, and I took very, very good care to be very, very light. And now on this second pass, I'm able to kind of let the weight of the razor fully. With double edge shaving, you really don't want to press. You have a very sharp blade, and it'll do the cutting. Even the cheapo double edge razors are pretty sharp. They're sharper than any card that I've ever shaved with, period. I use Family Dollar, Dorco style blades almost all the time, and they're generic, no name on them except Family Dollar, and they cut really well. Much better than any card I've ever used. Nice and smooth, so you don't need a lot of pressure when you double edge shave. You just let the weight of the head, the weight of this razor, even as light as this razor is, the weight of this head is plenty to shave my face smooth as silk. So now if you look, my lather is trying to fade. So what I'm going to do, some soaps do that. This is a concoction that he made. So, you know, but it's not a problem. Just put some more soap on. No big deal. Now the soap, it's got a nice thick lather to it. But I found the lather, like I said, it was fading there, but I stood here and talked instead of shaving, you know. So again, I stretch my skin with double edge the same way that I do with a straight razor. A lot of people do not. Do what you like. I find that I get a much nicer, much smoother shave when I stretch my skin. So that's what I do. Now what I'm going to do now is I'm going to clean off this. And I'm going to kind of feel along. Ooh. Believe it or not, that's a darn fine shade right there. It's nice and close and comfortable. There's not a lot of, I feel a little bit of stubble here and some along here. If I go up, I can feel a little bit on my chin, but if I come down and come to the side, it's smooth as silk. My cheeks are absolutely smooth. So that little $10 razor, Chinese thin pot metal tin razor, has done a really good job on a 2-pass shave. If I had to stop right there, that would be a perfectly acceptable, darn fine shave right there. But now I don't have to stop. I'm going to go a 3rd pass. It's traditionally a 3rd pass. I'm going to take my lather and I'm going to do what's called an against the grain pass now. Brush is working just fine. The comment that I made about it not having a lot of backbone turned out not to be a problem. So, again, stretch your skin, turn the head where I can get raise that head up where the skin will tighten, where I can get a nice need something to grab. I have a washcloth. Now, what I just did there with the washcloth, the soap that was left, the soap residue that was left after I made that pass, what was left on my skin was so slick that I couldn't get a grip. It's still really nice and slick. So the slickness of this soap is really good. Now what I do on my chin is if the razor is digging and scratching or trying to dig into my skin when I try to go up on my chin, my straight razor does that. So it's super sharp and it doesn't like that. So what I do on my chin is I just go back with the grain. Nobody said that I have to stick with the grain, across the grain, whatever. It's my chin. It's my shave. I do what works for me. And I would encourage you to understand that none of the techniques in wet shaving are. written in stone. In other words, just as an example, technically, when you shave, you do a 3-pass shave. One shave against the grain, one shave with the grain, one shave across the grain, and one shave against the grain. And you would go up like you just saw me do on the sides of my. However, let me wash my face off. That's not, it's not a law. There are no bathroom police, at least not yet. That's another topic. But there are no bathroom police. They're not going to break your door down and arrest you or fine you because you went across with the grain instead of against the grain on part of your pass. Whatever my situation calls for is what I'm going to do. Now let me look and test. That's probably the smoothest that I have ever gotten that area. That's got to do with technique. I don't think it has to do with the razor, although that razor is a little more aggressive. But I can tell you that the aggressiveness of this razor has caused a lot of irritation. I can feel it burning all in here. And I haven't even gone with an alcohol aftershave splash, which is something that I like to do. I like to use because for a couple reasons. Alcohol helps to clean. It closes up my pores, but it also burns and stings where I have irritation, so that I know, okay, I might not feel it now, but when I hit my chin with that aftershave, it might be burning pretty good. That'll let me know, okay, the razor, the combination of the blade and the razor, my technique, something there has caused some irritation to my skin. And so, now what I do at the end of a shave is I use a cold towel. And I just take it and I set it on my skin and let it cool. Now, I'm only going to do this once today because of time, but I would do this 4 or 5 times until the towel warmed up from contact with my skin, and then I would do it over and over 4 or 5 times till my face was nice and cool and all the irritation was nice and cool and calmed down. And what I'm going to do now, I'm going to use a little bit of the Dove Men's Plus Care, the post-shave balm. And with these things, I like to kind of shake them a little bit before I use them. I'll put a little bit of that on so that to kind of smooth my face, ease some of the irritation, things like that. And normally what I would do is at this point I would clean my brush and my razor and stuff like that and let that balm soak in a little bit and dry, and then I would go to a splash. But in the interest of time, a bit of Aqua Velva Musk, and it's actually not too bad. I can feel a good burn right along in here, and there's just a little bit of burn here. But my chin is absolutely fine. Everything. I'm used to getting a little bit of burn here anyway, although this is a lot more than what I usually get. But there you have it. That's the shave with all of the products that I want in the PIF that I could use. I mean, obviously I can't use 3 different soaps at one time. But, well, I could have made a super lather or some such thing, but I Nah, I'll pass. But anyway, so my opinions. First of all, I really appreciate Ronaldo, the PAF. I'm used to messing with guitars. Patent applied for pickup PAF is what I'm trying to say. But the PIF, the pay it forward, I really appreciate that. Thanks for the razor. It does a good job. I think if this was my only razor, I could shave well with this for a very long time. I would need to learn the technique a little bit more with this, change my technique around from what I normally use with my Gillette, just simply because of the difference in the aggressiveness of the razor. Now, I thought one side of this blade stuck out further than the other, and I really don't think that I caught a significant difference, although I could tell when I was on one side as opposed to the other, but it wasn't that significant, and it's not a big deal. Pretty good razor for $10. If you're low on funds, $10 razor, this is probably comparable to a dozen different Chinese $10 razors out there. If I all shave as good as this one does, they probably do a good job for you. The Dorco blade, I'm not sure if it was the blade or the razor or a combination, but I got a lot of not really tugging or pulling, but it seemed like the blade flexed an awful lot. I got a lot of blade flex when I was shaving, and that may be due to this razor. I don't know. I will probably clean this up and take it out and use it in my Gillette the next time, and then I'll see, was it the blade, was it the razor, what was it, but either way, that's not anything that would cause a problem with the shave either. You just have to be aware of it. I found out, that pretty much you can do pretty much whatever you want with whatever you got, as long as you pay attention to the way the products you have work. You can work around them, get a good shave with not very much of a problem. So, thanks for the Derby blades and the Astra blades. I appreciate them. That gives me, I've got some feathers. I've got the Dorcos from the dollar store. I've got the Astras now and the Derbys. And this will kind of give me a good representation of the 4 different kinds of blades, so that I can kind of determine for myself, what I like the best. That's cool. Thank you. Nice little stand. This right here, the post-shave balm, I like quite well. The scent is kind of strong to me, but I have this Swiss Army aftershave balm that I use, and it's got a stronger scent than this does. The scent's pleasant. It goes on well. It's not greasy or oily, and it soothes my skin, so I will probably continue to use this product. It feels to me like a good post-shave balm should feel. And so the soap, I didn't get the eggnog scent. I got more of the bay rum, just the rum, nothing but rum, But it smells good. It's not overpowering. It's quite strong in the jar. It's not very overpowering at all on your face. It's got a good scent. The lather's thick. It does have a tendency to dry out, but that might be more to do with the fact that I have only used that brush once, and it's a badger and not a boar, and that might be my fault, my technique. This is the first time I've used it. I may not have got enough water in it, or I may have gotten too much water. The water to soap ratio might have been off, probably was. So I can't say that it was my fault. I can tell you that I like the soap. When I shave, I'm cleaning now. When I shave, I won't be talking like I am now for 20 minutes or however long it was. So I doubt that I'll have to worry about it fading. So I'll definitely use that soap until it's gone. Ronaldo, thanks a lot for the PIF. It's awesome. I really appreciate it. I look forward to trying the Everyman Jack. If you guys that happen to be watching the video, if you want me to review the Everyman Jack cream, or if you want me to review that rose soap or anything else, leave me a comment and I'll do my best to do that. Thanks for watching. Have a great shave, everybody. God bless you, and goodbye.